Picture a camp at the edge of a dense tropical forest, firelight flickering against the dark. Somewhere out there, coiled in the undergrowth, is one of the most misunderstood predators our ancestors ever faced, the giant python. Tonight, we're not just telling a scary story about a snake in the shadows, we're looking at what really happened when early humans crossed paths with these massive constrictors, and how that danger shaped the way our ancestors built their camps, told their stories, and taught their children to survive. Giant constrictor snakes have shared landscapes with hominins for millions of years. Fossil evidence from Africa and Southeast Asia shows python species reaching lengths of 6 meters or more, easily capable of overpowering a child or a wounded adult. Unlike big cats or wolves, pythons don't hunt in packs or chase prey across open ground. They rely on ambush, patient, motionless, blending into leaf litter or hanging from low branches near water sources. That single fact, that the danger could be perfectly still and invisible until it struck, shaped an enormous amount of early human behavior around camps, rivers, and forest edges. Water was the most likely place for a deadly encounter. Rivers and lakesides drew in prey animals, and pythons often waited nearby, submerged or coiled at the water's edge, ready to ambush anything that came to drink. Early humans depended on these same water sources for drinking, fishing, and washing hides. Archaeologists studying tool marks and settlement patterns near ancient waterways have noted that many early camps were placed slightly back from the riverbank, on raised or open ground, rather than tucked into thick brush, a layout that reduced the chance of an ambush from concealed cover. Foraging parties faced similar risks. Gathering berries, roots, or firewood often meant pushing into dense vegetation where visibility dropped to almost nothing. Anthropological studies of modern communities that still coexist with large pythons in parts of Africa, India, and Southeast Asia show a consistent pattern. People move in groups, make noise, and use long sticks to probe undergrowth before stepping into it. There's every reason to believe early humans developed the same habits. Noise and numbers didn't scare a python outright, but they gave it time to sense vibration and retreat before any contact occurred, since these snakes generally avoid confrontation with anything larger than their expected prey. When an encounter did turn dangerous, it usually wasn't a chase, it was a struggle at close range. A python's threat comes from its coils, not its bite. Once wrapped around a limb or torso, it can restrict breathing and movement within moments. This meant the only effective response was immediate, pinning the head, prying at the coils, or striking with a heavy tool before constriction fully set in. Wooden spears and stone hand axes, already essential for hunting, doubled as defensive tools in these moments. A single person rarely survived such a struggle alone, which is exactly why early human groups so rarely traveled or foraged in isolation. This is really the heart of the story. Survival against a predator like this was almost never an individual achievement. It was a group strategy. Camps were arranged with sightlines to the surrounding brush. Children were kept close to adults near forest edges. Elders passed down knowledge of which environments were riskiest: dense reeds, hollow logs, riverbanks at dusk, long before anyone could explain the biology behind it. That accumulated caution, repeated across generations, functioned like a survival manual passed through observation and story rather than written record. And these encounters left a mark beyond immediate survival. Serpent imagery appears again and again in the oldest human art and mythology, from carved figures to painted symbols, often representing danger, transformation, or hidden threat. Some researchers argue this isn't a coincidence, that snakes, as one of the few predators capable of ambushing us silently from ground level, may have shaped some of our earliest instinctive fears and some of our earliest campfire stories. The night a tribe nearly lost everything to a python wasn't really about one dramatic night. It was about thousands of ordinary nights when caution, cooperation, and shared knowledge kept a very real danger at arm's length. And that, more than any single confrontation, is what kept early human communities. So the next time you drizzle honey into your tea without a second thought, spare a moment for the countless early humans who got there first, with sticky hands, watering eyes, and a few unfortunate stings to show for it. It's a small, sweet reminder that some of humanity's oldest habits weren't really about survival at all. Sometimes, then as now, it was simply about wanting something delicious badly enough to risk getting stung for it.